Hi, my name is Sherry Pittman, and I'd like to welcome you to another segment of Survive and Thrive with Sherry. Today, we have with us Mr. Lyle Johnson, who is the author of Fit for Christ.
Get Fit for Christ.
Get Fit for Christ. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We
Glad to be
appreciate you
here.
taking the time out.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You have, first of all, we like to talk about marriage.
Okay.
So we're going to go there for a minute, and then we'll talk more about the book, if that's okay with you.
It's fine.
You are a newlywed.
Correct.
And that big date was?
November 11th of last year. So just
Okay.
think about it. We got married at 11/11/11.
Oh my gosh.
Yep,
Okay.
got married in the Bahamas, and we got married at 11:11 a.m.
Well, that's, oh my goodness, you did
Yeah.
it again.
Right. So somebody said, what's the deal with all the ones? Why'd you get married at 11/11/11 on 11/11/11? I simply said, because she thinks I'm the one.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Now, I want to know who thought of that.
That's me.
You thought of that?
Yeah.
Did you actually come up with the date and time at all?
Yeah, we did. We had missed with dates to correlate with the time and of the year. So now, you know, for example, a good wedding date would be 12/12/12.
Oh, I see.
We had played with 10, 9, 10, 11. We had played with that. So 11/11/11, it worked out great.
Yeah, a lot of people think 11 is a good number.
It is. It is.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about her. What drew you to her?
Well, her name is Phyllis Johnson. Maiden name was Phyllis Newman. And we'd known each other in St. Louis probably for 4 or 5 years before we started dating. I met her at the YMCA, and we just both got together one day, and we've been together ever since.
Nice. So it was kind of like love at first sight?
No, it wasn't love at first sight. Like I said, I'd known her for about 4 or 5 years before we started dating. So, I mean, we just got along real well and still doing it today. And marriage is great. I mean, it's nothing like it. I really enjoy it.
Okay, well, good deal. You're newlyweds, so I usually ask people what have they had to change themselves in order to make the relationship work.
Well, I think that, you know, my previous life wasn't a good one. You know, I drank and I smoked and I gambled, and I just had to make a change. And I think that when I made a change, I think that attracted people to me that could really benefit my life.
Well, I think that's real important. I don't think people often realize that they want one thing, but the way that they're living their life attracts another.
Right.
And I think that's probably a good segue for your book.
Correct.
So why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Great. Get Fit for Christ. It's a book that I wrote. It came out in November of 2010. It's a book that talks about how to improve your mind, body, and soul. So it has a 40-day Bible study in it, 40-day meal plan, 40-day workout plan. The book is available on Amazon. The book costs about $20. It's a great investment. So pick up a copy, or you can go to getfitforchrist.com. That's using the number 4. And I want to say this, that all of the proceeds go to feed the children, my children.
How many children do you have?
We have 3 of my own, and then Phyllis, she has 2 of their own, so 5 altogether.
5 altogether. You're still feeding them all?
Not all of them.
But you got to feed some of
yeah,
them, right?
gotta feed some
Okay,
of them.
good deal, good deal. The numbers thing, there's a pattern here. We have 11/11/11. We have 40/40/40,
Yeah.
and we have the 4 Fit for Christ.
Right.
So tell us a little bit where that comes from.
Wow, numbers play a big role. I mean, you know, the number 3 means complete. There's mind, body, and soul, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, the past, present, and future. There's earth, wind, and fire, blood, sweat, and tears. There's one more, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So, yeah, numbers play a key role.
Okay.
40 days, 40 also means complete.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Moses, he walked on, when he was doing the 10 Commandments, it took him 40 days to do that. Jesus walked on the earth 40 days after his resurrection. So there's a lot of numbers with the 40. Goliath,
And the number 4.
The number 4, yeah. Get fit for Christ. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's
So just a little play on words there.
just a little play on words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So numbers, yeah, when you think about it, numbers are key.
All right. Well, good deal. So you wrote the book 2 years ago or so, give or take. And was it your first book that you wrote?
Yeah, it is. My first book.
Yeah. What was the experience like?
It was fun. Basically, a lot of focus to really see a project come together and see you reach your goal. It's really satisfying. And to see that people are reading the book and getting a lot of great reviews on the book. A lot of people have lost weight with the book. It's a great feeling.
What are some of the other things people are saying about the book?
Well, they're saying that the meal plan is a good, easy meal plan to follow. The foods in that meal plan are basic foods that you really need to eat in order to lose weight. What you try to do is just try to stay away from fast food and also fried foods. Eat foods made by God. One of the things and the key principles in the book is that the first sin committed by humans was we ate the wrong foods. And we're still doing the same thing today.
Okay.
Eating too much fast food, too much fried food, not drinking enough water. Instead, we're drinking too many fancy coffees, too many sodas, Red Bull. And you just don't flush down a garbage disposal with Red Bull, coffee, or beer or alcohol. You flush with water. So the same holds true for our bodies. We have to flush away. The water helps flush away the toxins out of our bodies. So we have to drink water. And the amount of water that you should be drinking a day is half your pounds in ounces.
Now, you don't hear that very often. Usually you hear people say that you need to drink like 8 glasses a day.
Yeah, what they're saying now, experts are citing that you should drink half your body weight in ounces. So, for example, if you weigh 160, you should be drinking 80 ounces of water a day. And it's easy to do. Just you should be eating about 4 or 5 meals a day. So drinking 2-3 glasses of water, especially in this heat, you got to keep the body hydrated. So it should be an easy task to do.
And so that water that you're taking in, I read somewhere that you should be doing like half your pounds in ounces. But I also heard that if you're overweight, you should be drinking additional water.
Well, I just stay with the half the pound in ounces.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you talk about eating 4 or 5 meals a day, is that what you said?
Right.
I know you said no fried and no fast foods. Those two kind of go together.
Right.
Because you could do a salad, but that's not typically the choice. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, there's kind of fast food places that serve salads.
And then you talked about eating the things that God made. Did you say it like that? I'm not saying it exactly the way you said it.
Yeah, foods made by God.
Foods made by God, which, for this younger generation and maybe for some of the older generations, they might question what's made by God.
Well, foods that grow out of trees and come out of the ground. You know, when we were growing up, we come from the rotary phone generation, I would say. And our grandparents, they had gardens out in the yards. You don't see that anymore. So, I would say, hey, Granny, I want something to eat. You have any chips? She said, boy, you better go out and pick one of those apples off the tree. That's your treat. So those are the type of foods that we ate. Like I said, the rotary phone generation.
Rotary phone?
Rotary phone generation.
Some people may not remember what...
But we do.
You're aging.
Yeah, we do, though. So now it's, the iPhone, the iPad, and the iPod. And I think that's why the obesity rate is so high among teenagers, is because they're not getting outside and playing. When we grew up, we would eat breakfast, go outside and play, and wouldn't come back until dinner time. You don't see that anymore.
What about, speaking of children, what about what's going on in the schools with the school lunches? Does they cater to or not to what the children need to eat?
What I've learned is that it doesn't. The foods that they're eating overeating. They feed them a lot of portions. And what we used to do, we used to bring our own sack lunches, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, an orange, and things like that. A bottle of water is good. So I know that they're trying to make improvements on that. Michelle Obama with her Let's Move campaign, trying to make improvements on what the public school systems are feeding their children.
Okay. Let's go back to foods that God grows. Is that what?
God-made foods.
That God-made foods. Okay. Again, just for that generation that doesn't know what a rotary phone is. First of all, they can go out on the internet and Google it, right? ROTARY
exactly.
phone. But can you break it down a little bit as to what those foods are that God made? I know you said things that grow on trees, but I think when people are driving through restaurants, drive-through restaurants, they may not know. People that live in the city and maybe don't have a garden, or maybe they've never even seen anyone with a garden. What are we talking about here, literally?
We're talking about fruits and vegetables. My favorite fruit is pineapple, and then oranges, vegetables, broccoli, and things like that. If you do eat meat, I would recommend that you don't fry chicken. Either grill it or bake it. Same with tilapia or fried fish. I wouldn't fry the fish. I would eat salmon, and also tilapia, things like that. So stay away from the fried foods and stay away from the fast foods. That's basically it. A lot of people, they know what they should do, they just don't do it.
Right. Okay. So when you talk about grilling, you would recommend that they invest in a grill. We're not going to call anyone's name here, but that they would invest in a grill.
Yep.
By the way, do you have a grill with your name on it?
No.
Oh, okay. Shoot.
No.
But they would invest in that grill. They're really wonderful, and they're made by there's a variety of people who make them, but also a variety of price ranges, I think, too.
Correct.
You can find them anywhere from your top department store to your dollar store, I think, you know, so there's no reason why, you know, and they're really convenient to grill, you know. The mess is minimum and easy to clean up. So the big thing is that we're just kind of spoiled with driving through, right?
Right.
And isn't there a certain taste too? We saw a movie, a documentary some maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. I think it was called Super Size Me.
Right.
And they were talking about one particular food chain that actually put things in their food to make the taste better, but also was somewhat addictive.
Right. Now, I haven't seen the movie, but I do know that I'm on a speaker's tour, and one of the speakers that I was speaking with, she has a McDonald's cheeseburger that she's had.
You're not mentioning the name, are you?
She has a cheeseburger that has lasted for 3 years. The meat and cheese are still there. There's another taco, the same thing. The meat and the cheese are still alive. Wow. So, you know, and there's other research that says that, you know, you might stick some French fries might be on the sidewalk, and to see if the birds are going to eat it, the birds don't even touch it.
The nature itself.
Right. So if nature or if bacteria is not going to eat it, why are we eating it?
Wow. Wow. Okay, so let's go back to food that God made. You talked about, did you say broccoli?
Yes.
And what else?
You know, any vegetable, yams and things like that. I mean, I can't rip them all off right now.
Okay.
But just basically fruits and vegetables. They're good for you. They're good for your fiber.
Now, what about canned, frozen?
They're the next best thing.
Which ones?
The next best thing. Canned and frozen are the next best thing to fresh. But, you know, nowadays, all you have to go down to the market. Food is very affordable. I mean, if you take a look at it, and if you go out and spend a week and see how much money you spend on fast food, and then how much money that you're spending at the market or at the grocery store, I'm willing to bet that the fast food would outnumber the fresh food.
Good deal, good deal. Now, I know we're going to wrap it up here in just a little bit. We're going to take a break.
Okay.
And we're going to be back in just a little bit. Maybe we can talk a little bit about how the exercise fits in with the eating properly. We have enjoyed talking just a few minutes here with Mr. Lyle Johnson and talking about his book, Get Fit for Christ. We're going to be back in just a few minutes, or just a few seconds, so don't go away. And we will continue to talk with Mr. Johnson. Don't forget, we are on every Wednesday morning at 7:30. We'll be right back. Hi, my name is Sherry Pittman, and I'd like to welcome you to join us in watching Survive and Thrive with Sherry every Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. on Fox Channel 7 WRSP. You can also catch us on Access 4 at 10:30, 4:30, and again at 10:30 p.m. We look forward to having you join us watching the show. We love to talk about marriages and other things as well, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you. Hi, we're back with Lyle Johnson, and we're glad you're back with us as well. Lyle, share with us a little bit about the exercise side of it. You talked about the eating, not the fried, not the drive-through, baked, grilled, etc. What about the exercise portion of getting fit for Christ?
Well, one of the reasons why the obesity rate is so high, in fact, 66% of adults are obese or overweight in America. And one of the reasons is because of lack of exercise. We're just basically lazy.
That's what the Europeans think too, don't they, about us?
Right. What we need to do is just get out and get the body moving. And I don't expect people to go out and run a marathon next week.
Right.
It's simply start out by walking.
Yes.
Walking is the oldest form of exercise known to mankind. And the Bible says, well, researchers say that Jesus walked an average of 20 miles per day.
Really?
Yep. So starting a walking program at your job or at your church or in your neighborhood would be a step in the right direction.
2 miles a day would be great, right?
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
know 20. I wonder how many Moses walked.
Well, Moses' form of transportation was walking too. And Deuteronomy 34:7 says that Moses lived to be 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak nor his strength gone. So here's a guy that lived to be 120 years old, and he's climbing mountains and leading people and doing the things that he needs to do so we can survive and thrive.
Good deal, good deal. How about the exercise regimen? Do you have recommendations for how often a person should walk, for example?
Well, you should be exercising 3 to 5 times a week, at least 30 minutes a day. That's for adults. And children, they should be outside playing about 60 minutes a day. It just depends on your fitness level. Right now, one of the biggest trends is kettlebell training. And kettlebell is an iron cast that has a handle on it. And people can go to it on the website and just Google it. But you swing this thing and you can lift it and you can do all sorts of exercise with it. There's probably about 1,600 exercises that you can do with a kettlebell. And a kettlebell is basically a combination of strength training and also cardio training.
Is it cardio as well? Because I thought it sounded like strength training, but I wasn't sure about the cardio.
It's cardio as well. It really gets your heart rate up in a quick amount of time. A lot of people in Hollywood are using it right now. So like I said before, it's the latest trend out there. Also Zumba. Zumba is very fun. Zumba is what they call exercise in disguise. A lot of women take Zumba. So what it is you're just dancing and moving. It's sort of aerobic type of exercise, but it has that Latin flavor to it, and it's really fun. I've never tried it, but we teach it at my business, MVP Fitness, located in St. Louis.
And so you have people that actually teach it for you?
Yes.
Okay, but you haven't attended their class?
No, I'm usually working.
Okay, we understand that. So when it comes to fitness, we're talking about at least three times a week.
3 to 5 times a week.
3 to 5 times, but a minimum 3. And we're talking cardio. We're talking strength training.
Well, it just depends on the fitness level. Okay. I really wouldn't recommend strength training for women because it's going to bulk you up.
Well, what about just having good tone?
Good tone, kettlebell is excellent for toning up the body.
That's not considered strength training?
It's considered strength training, but like I said before, it's a combination of cardio and strength. So you're really getting both up.
Okay.
And the cardio, I think it just tames it. You know, you're really going to get lean and toned in a quick amount of time. Also, swimming is great, you know, especially with this time of the year. Biking is also great. So these are activities that you can do outside. You know, of course, you can ride a stationary bike inside, or you can swim inside at a pool. But those types of exercises are great. Boxing is also a great exercise. And I'm not mean, you know, you're in the ring sparring with somebody, but hitting a heavy bag and hitting what they call focus mitts and things like that.
Gotcha.
Jumping rope is also great.
Well, I think you're suggesting activities that you can do both in the winter time and in more pleasing weather.
Right.
So that, and it can be kind of nice to mix it up and have a variety so a person doesn't just get bored with doing one thing.
Right.
But when the weather is nice and people want to be out, and of course you can do the outside things.
An outdoor workout is probably the best workout you can get.
Why do you say that?
Well, first of all, you're out there with Mother Nature and God's creation, and that's the way it should be.
Okay.
There's things that you can see and things that you can do outside that, you know, you can just really take it in, like seeing the the trees turn green in the summertime.
The seasons change.
And the seasons change, and it's a great outdoor workout. Most of our workouts are done outdoors.
Okay. You, from the business, you take people outside?
Yeah.
Really?
We hold boot camps, and we're holding our boot camps outdoors. This past couple of weeks, we've been inside because of the triple-digit temperatures.
Sure. Boot camp normally lasts how long? What is it like?
Well, my boot camp only lasts 30 minutes because that's all you need. Basically, a boot camp is you start off running a lap around the track, and we come in and do a routine. This morning, we did a great kettlebell routine that did a different variety of different exercises where we did reps, and also we did time exercises. We did the Tabata method, which is 20 seconds of exercise with 10-second rest in between. And we did it for 4 minutes. And that's a great way to burn the fat, also increase your heart rate, and to tone up the body. For
some reason, that makes me think about the whole walk-run thing.
Exactly.
You know, you may not be able to run a total of 2 miles, but you can go as far as you can, and you know, slow it down to a walk. You catch your breath.
run for 30 seconds, walk for a minute.
Right, right.
Once again, it just depends on your fitness level.
Okay. Do you do an evaluation with your clients to find
Yep.
out what their fitness level is?
Every time they come in, we do a physical assessment when they start out. So that way we find out where you're at and where you need to be.
Gotcha. Tell us more about your book.
Well, like I said, the book, Get Fit for Christ, and it was very, very rewarding to go through the book writing process. And I think that everybody has a book in them. It's just up to you to write it.
Okay.
And what I did is just talk to a lot of fitness experts and a lot of preachers about what it takes to live your life, great life spiritually and also physically. And what I did is that I taped the conversation that I did, and then I had the conversation transcribed. So that way, you know, you had the interview on paper, so you can copy, edit, paste, and things like that. And also, you know, I am a writer. I have a blog, and I write for the Capital City Courier.
Sure.
So, you know, right there, I've been writing for your paper for about 3 or 4 years.
That's true.
So, you know, there's some chapters there.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
you have these things accumulated over time, and before you know it, you have a book.
So now you wrote a book, and you said you think there's a book in everybody,
Right.
and I'm sure there's a lot of people who would just love to write a book. Maybe they're thinking, you know, I know a little something about this, or I've been doing this for a long time, and I know quite a bit about it.
Right.
But how do they get started?
They get started by starting writing.
Okay.
You know, and if you take a look at it, it's a gradual process. So if you write a page every day for 1 year, you have 365 pages at the end of the year. Now you can copy and edit it and take things out.
Sure.
But that's a simple process.
Now, do you write on a regular? I mean, I know you write for the Capital City Courier, but do you write like...
Yeah, I'm probably writing every day.
Are you?
Yeah.
What do you do with the rest of your writings? I know they don't all go in the paper.
A lot of it goes out to my email list.
Oh, okay, and you're blogging as well.
I blog.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm probably writing every day.
All right. Do you have another book coming?
Not right now.
Okay.
Creativity is something that you can't force.
Okay, so right now, book is not the thing that's on the top of your to-do stack, but what is you'd like to be doing more of?
More motivational speaking.
Okay.
Going across the country, spreading the message about Get Fit for Christ at churches all across the country.
Why churches?
Churches that's where everybody's at. You know, you think about it, every Sunday, all across the country, there's church.
Okay.
And that's where you can get a large group of people together to hear your message.
Okay.
So it's better than, you know, holding a seminar and hoping that, you know, maybe 100 people show up and only 10 people show up. You know, people are going to be at church every Sunday.
Okay. Okay. So writing the book, let's get some of the technicalities involved. And we start with writing every day, as you said. Next would be what?
Well, I want to talk about self-publishing.
Sure.
Because self-publishing is the route to go today, especially if you're an entrepreneur, instead of going to the publish route, because the publish route is a mean beast. I mean, first of all, you have to get published.
Yes.
People
and that's
have to
not
like
an
your
easy
work.
thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a guy by the name of Theodore Geisel, it took him 26 times in order to get published. Theodore Geisel's pen name is Dr. Seuss. So just think about it. It took him 26 times to get published, and that was just a children's book.
Wow.
So it's a beast. And once you do get published, you're not going to get all the profits. Say a book costs $20, you might be lucky to get 10%.
Wow. So most of that will go
10%.
to the marketing, the publishing, the distribution,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So if you self-publish,
you're getting all the profits.
and the biggest advantage is
You have total control.
total control.
Yeah,
But you got to know the parts to get this done, and they include...
Well, I've known a guy that went to the self-publishing route, and then a publisher picked him up, and he regrets it. He says that he
right.
has no control. They're telling him when the work has to be done, what needs to be written. This is not good. Well, he says, well, I feel that way about it, but no, you can't say that. So you really don't have any control. You're losing control over the book. And I've known Daryl Strawberry. He has a book out, and he's probably lucky to get that 10 to 15% because he is Daryl Strawberry.
Sure.
But if a Lyle Johnson or a Sherry Pittman goes out there, you're probably going to get 5%.
Oh, speak for yourself, but go ahead.
Exactly.
No, but seriously, what other people do you need involved for self-publishing?
Well, you have to have an editor, and you have to have a design team to design the book, the cover, and also what we call the guts of the book, the inlay, and it has to be formatted right. The margins have to be right at the sides and also at the top and at the bottom. And you need to find a self-publisher. And it's that simple. And once, the self-publishing route is what they call print on demand. So what the old way is that a self-publisher might pick you up, or a printer. Let's say a printer picks you up, and they might try to sell you a package where it's $3,000. And you might be lucky to get 25 copies of your book. And then they're going to try to pitch you and say, well, you need to buy 1,000 copies of your book. So now your book might cost $5 a copy, so now you're spending another $5,000, but yet you have all these copies of your book sitting up in the garage, and it's 2 and 3 years, and they're still sitting there.
Oh my!
So the best way to do it is go self-publishing route. So if you need to order 1 book, or if you need to order 1,000 books, you can do that.
Okay. And so you would suggest that people would just Google that for that information, or search Yahoo or whatever to get additional information on that.
Yeah.
Well, my goodness, the time has really went fast. We only have a few more minutes left. I want to just take a moment to thank you very much for the interview. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And you've been a great guest. You've been very informative, and we certainly wish your business the most of success that there is for you, and,
I hope the
and
same
more.
for you.
Thank you. You're traveling and you're speaking. We want to see that just go up the chart for you as well.
It's going to happen.
And maybe we'll get together another time.
Sounds great.
Want to thank you for joining us as well. Remember, we air every Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. on Fox 55 Channel 7, and we're also on Saturdays. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.